hop out of. The initial serving for new players, I would say, is enormous. Both games, in my opinion, struggle from aspects of putting in new players. Guild Wars, you kind of walk out into a sandbox, you know, and it's like going to a friend's house, and the friend's like, hey, I'm going to make dinner. What do you want? And you're like, hey, what do you have? And they're like, oh, well, I can make anything. Okay, well, what were you thinking? Like, can you put me in the ballpark? Like, are you looking to grill food or bake food? Are you looking for pasta, salad? Like I need somewhere to go. And Guild Wars is just like, no, anything's fine. And so it's not really helpful. And so what can happen in Guild Wars from a new player standpoint is a new player can download the game, hop in, play for the first 10 minutes, and then not know what to do, and can just be lost. They can just be lost. It's an enormous game, and the community is wildly helpful, but only if you know what to Google. And so if you don't know how to search for what to do, it can be really overwhelming that Guild Wars literally lets you do any of it in any order at any time at your own pace. And that sounds really nice. And you're like, oh, we'll default back to the story or whatever. But it's just so hard to know what you can and can't do at what time. I want to do something. What do I need to do to unlock it? And it can be overwhelming to a new player. But once you get the hang of it, it's really freeing. You can do anything in any order. Final Fantasy comes at it from a different angle. Final Fantasy is a giant theme park, and the main story is a monorail. And the monorail takes you through, and it gives you a tour. But really, once you get on the monorail, the best thing you can do as a new player is not get off the monorail until you've ridden the whole thing. The whole thing. Right? And you have to ride the whole thing, and you're passing by. You're like, that looks fun. That looks fun. That looks fun. Yeah. Don't do any of that. Don't craft. Don't PvP. As much as possible, you want to do MSQ all the way till you're caught up. And so as a new player, you're clearing 8 years of MSQ. So you're joining us for the finale TV show. The finale TV show is coming out November 19th, and we're going to start a new story with 6.1. The game's going to continue, but the story's ending. And so you are finding out that the finale drops in 2 weeks, and you're like, that's very cool. But before you go see Marvel's Endgame with us, you have to read every single comic and watch every single MCU movie back to back before you're allowed to go to the theater with us. We're going in 2 weeks. That's 400 hours of content. Go. And that's a lot to ask. The MSQ will take you way past max level because they used to have it tuned to do side quests, but they didn't want you to do that anymore because that's already a huge ask. So they've tuned it so all you have to do is MSQ. And throughout your MSQ, there are like the dungeons and stuff baked into the story. So you're going to get to run each of the dungeons, most of the dungeons at least once. You're going to run most of the trials at least once. You're going to run a couple of the alliance raids. So you're going to get to touch a lot of the multiplayer content briefly along the way. But you're going to beat 4 single-player RPGs as well. So it's a lot. It's a lot.